Good day, everyone. Coming in from Central Command here, Burwood Spinal Unit, with my little red ejector button next to me. I've got really good news, but I wanted to say a few things before I did, because I don't know how many of you have seen apple cider vinegar yet, but I recommend you do. It's so good. It says so much about our modern culture. But I had a bit of an apple cider vinegar moment this week, because I wanted to make these little weekly updates of my time here, because so many of you have, encouraging and in touch and communicating now, sort of felt a sense of obligation to make these videos, and I wanted to anyway. But after last week's little broadcast there about how I'm getting sensation in my hands and arms, and my little ambition got a bit too ahead of me, if I'm honest, and because not a lot happened after that, and I was really kind of hoping that things would just sort of go the way they go, and just ding, 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 here's the movie narrative, Hollywood narrative, and all of a sudden I'd be on top of the steps, Sylvester Stallone. Sorry, that's a reference to the older people amongst us. And so when not a lot was happening with my hands, I had a bit of a moment of, what do I say to everyone? That old saying came to me that man makes plans, and what does God do? He laughs. So it was that moment of sort of humility of, you're not setting the roadmap here, friend. Just sit down. And every time I do my meditation, that same message would come through to me: patience, patience, patience. And I have to confess, I'm not a man of patience. And it really is a real big lesson for me in this lifetime. It's always struck me as the sort of weakest of the virtues. You have courage, which is this dum, beat the drums and attack thing. And patience always seems this sort of slightly weak, slightly weighty, slightly do nothing. And it's interesting because I've been to India so many times in my life, and the idea of fate is so strong there, and the idea of things happen as they must, and it's not up to you, they will happen as they must. Everything is perfect, everything is fine. And this idea of patience ties into that in many ways, and I've always really struggled with it. But I've also known that this literally is not up to me. The impulse that I need in my limbs is not something that I can generate. All the willpower in the world will only take me so far. And it's really waiting for that real descent of grace. There's no other way I can think of it. Things happen not of your minding, but of something more subtle. So there I was in my little apple cider vinegar moment, going, oh goodness, I'd like to say something, but what can I say other than patience, which seems so far away. And so yesterday I was sitting on my chair, and really interesting. I've been on this Fez bike, which is the electrical stimulation to the muscles as the wheels of the hand bike or the foot bike go around, and it's been quite interesting because I have got a little bit of something happening in the biceps, a little bit subtle, but something happening there. I wasn't quite sure if it was actually like the pain from after you go for a workout where you have those tight muscles, or whether it was something more. But I was sitting on my chair yesterday, and my foot was in a bit of an awkward position, and I thought to myself, gee, I wish I could move that foot. And then the next thought came, why don't you try? And I did, and I moved the bloody foot, and I was by myself just for a moment, and I went, bloody hell, I just did that. And then Rochelle was next to me and some other people, and I decided to shake my knees and my knees moved. It was decidedly moved, and God, it was a real moment. Shell was next to me, and it was we were almost discovering what's going on. Because the truth of the matter is, I never thought that legs were possible. I just genuinely didn't. I was always, my morning visualizations, and along with you in the evening, I was always sort of the mind of moving the fingers, index finger, next finger, dunga, dunga. But I never really thought legs are so far away. They just seemed so far away. Having said that, every time the physios came around and touched my feet, there was something I was feeling. It was very distant. It was a pins and needles feeling, but so far away. So I didn't pay much heed, but here we go. I'm waggling the feet, very, very small movements, but they're waggling towards each other. I'm pointing my toe, pointing the other toe, not quite so much. Moving the knees together and away, being able to pull the hamstring up by the glute. And I tell you, that has really nothing to do with me. It really doesn't. I mean, I'm just a bloke who's discovered what's been happening on the quiet. Yeah, what to say, hey? What to say? I just got to say that all those activities that you've done for me, and all that moments where I've sat here and received, and I've been open to realizing that there's a lot of people who love, care, and can offer this healing of what's really, there's no other word for it. All you can do is receive gratefully and be appreciative. It's a beautiful thing. It's very early days. It's there's a big mountain to climb, but geez, it's the first step on the mountain that we've been waiting for. And the physios were so gratefully joyous. I'm sure they've seen this many times, but they really were joyful at feeling it and seeing it and going, yep, it's there. There's no denying it. So what a day that was yesterday. And so let's start climbing the mountain step by step. There's no other way. So thank you, everyone. Thank you very much for your time and for your interest, and for doing what you have. I can't say enough thanks. I'll speak to you later. Speak to you soon. No more apple cider vinegar moments. See ya. 3.